Oh no! I just found out the tax assessor is coming. I gotta do something. Maybe if I hide in the basement, they won't find me. It really is the most frightening word to cross the mind of a homeowner. Revaluation. Welcome to the Sonic Boomers podcast. I'm Pete.
And I'm Maureen.
And on this edition, we're going to be telling you about revaluation, specifically because our township will be doing one probably next year. But what is it? Why is it? And what can you do, if anything, about it? So first of all, let's explain what a property revaluation really is. In some areas, it's referred to as a reassessment or a reappraisal. Now, this is when your town updates your property assessments to reflect current market conditions. The goal is to tax equity, ensuring that everyone pays roughly the same share of taxes relative to their property's value, not to raise total tax revenue. Now, why does it happen? Well, the big influence is market changes. Property values can rise or fall over time due to market trends, renovations, or neighborhood development. For example, in our township, the last revaluation was done 30 some odd years ago. And at that time, the average value of a home was rated at about $158,000. Well, today, in 2026, the average price of a home in our township is now $620,000. It is a legal requirement. In the state of New Jersey, there is a requirement for townships to do periodic reassessments to comply with state law. And that is why this reassessment is being done in our area. And without an update, well, some properties might be overassessed while others are underassessed, creating unfair tax burdens.
So what happens when an evaluation is taking place?
Well, I told you saw me do it at the start of the show. You run like hell and lock the doors.
But what
and hide.
I don't think that's always so practical, huh? But what really happens is they're going to come and they want data. They want the data collection to take place. And they're looking at physical property data, the size, the condition, any improvements, and market data, comparable sales in your area.
Now, we should point out that when the assessor comes, he's not really interested in your 96-inch super whiz-bang television set with the expensive surround sound system. That's not what he's looking at. He's not interested in that you have new living room furniture. He's looking at the things that add value to your home if it were to be sold on the market.
The data that they collect helps them to then compare it to other houses in your area and come up with a value. The inspector may choose to actually visit your property to verify the details. They may not. There are oftentimes informal hearings that owners can go and present information and plead their case. And finalization is when the new assessments are published. After all the data is in and after they've done all the reviews and their analysis, they come up with what the final assessment is going to be.
So the big question on everybody's mind is, how will revaluation really affect my taxes? Well, there could be revenue neutrality. The total tax revenue stays the same unless the town changes the tax rate. Now, the tax rate is based on per $100 of assessed valuation in our town. So you might be paying, say, $1.05 per $100 of assessed valuation on your home. Now, that number might go up and it might go down. Now, to figure this out, if your home is worth, say, $600,000 right now on the market, take that, say, $1.05 tax rate. Figure out how many $100 bundles would be in $600,000. You take that number, you multiply it by $1.05, and that gives you the basic municipal tax rate. That does not include the other taxes from your school board, from the county, or any other services.
So when you get your property tax bill, it is not just the property. It's all those other things factored in as well.
Right. And in our township, of course, the lion's share is the school board tax, which is the thing that is pulling us down head first in this community.
I think that's true in a lot of communities, isn't it?
It depends upon how much state aid you're receiving. I know, for example, here in our township, the state cut a tremendous amount of the state aid, and it has generated a massive deficit for the Board of Education, which has to be made up, unfortunately, through that portion of the tax bill.
Unfortunately. Now, if your property value rose more than the average, and let's face it, in a 30-year span, I think almost everybody's property values are going to have increased, your taxes then may increase. If it comes out that you're lower, then your taxes may go down.
Taxes going down. I laugh at that.
We said before that the goal is equalization, that they really claim that their main objective is to get everybody to be paying their fair share. So if your assessment was low for years, an evaluation may raise it to match the market value. But tax rates then may adjust to keep the total amount paid similar. So it's a scale, it's a mathematical equation kind of thing.
Yeah, they're kind of balancing the two parts of the seesaw, the assessment on your home and the tax rate. The value of the home on the market versus the tax rate of how many dollars per $100 of assessed valuation. The problem is, if your house has relatively few improvements on it, but everybody else in the neighborhood has had big improvements on their homes, your taxes may go up anyway. Because as they say, a rising tide lifts all the boats.
What to do when you find
Run!
out?
Lock the doors and run! I'm telling you.
Usually you're going to get a notice of your new assessment before the tax bill is actually issued.
Right.
So what do? Review the value, compare it on your own to recent sales and your property's condition.
Take a look at the comps in your neighborhood.
Take a look at your property with an objective eye, not a subjective one. Take a look at it not from someone that has emotional ties, but look at it from someone that is just coming in cold, looking at your property and figuring out what it's worth. If you feel that the assessment is unjustified, you can appeal it. You have that right, but you have to realize that it's a very small window of time. So if you're planning on doing it, you have to act quickly and consider letting the assessor in. A lot of people like Pete want to run. They want to say, stay out, you're not coming in here. But that only really screws you in the long run, because what they're going to do is they're going to say, okay, we won't come in, but we're just going to assume that your property is on the high end,
right,
and we're going to assess you at the higher end.
Right.
And
then you're screwing yourself, basically.
You basically are.
So here's the bottom line. A revaluation is about fairness, believe it or not. It is about fairness, not automatic tax hikes. But your taxes will change only if your property's value changes. And let's face it, after 30 years, your value is going to change and probably go up. If you're concerned, act quickly, because as Maureen said, the appeal deadline is often very, very short. Now, here's what to do and what to avoid if your property is up for revaluation. When your property is scheduled for reassessment, the key is act quickly. Gather the evidence and avoid actions that could trigger a higher valuation. Check your deadline immediately. Most states will give you anywhere from 25 to 60 days from the notice date to file your appeal. Missing it could mean the higher value applies for the full tax year or reassessment cycle. Review your assessment notice carefully. Verify that they have the square footage right, the lot size right, the bedroom bathroom count, the year that your home was built, the condition that the home is in, and any special features. A discrepancy could be grounds for a reduction in your valuation, and that means a little more money in your pocket. Gather your comparable sales data. Find recent similar properties, say within a mile or so of your home, that sold over the last 12 months. This will help you to calculate a fair market value and support your appeal if you choose to do so. Document your property's condition and features. Provide photos, maintenance records, and any recent improvements. If they're cosmetic, they can help to make sure that the value is not inflated. And file your protest on time. Submit your appeal to the Appraisal Review Board or your county tax authority before the deadline. You can appeal on your own or hire a professional if you choose. Frankly, I think I'd hire a professional.
I would hire a professional, especially if it's going to be a really high amount that you're paying all of a sudden, a high increase.
It's going to cost you some money to hire a professional, but at the end of the day, it might mean a little more money in your pocket. So what should people avoid?
Well, first of all, don't ignore the notice. It's not going away.
Yeah.
Just because you don't answer it, just because you don't think it's fair, they're not going to say, oh, well, then heck with it then. So remember that you have the right to challenge it, and you may even be able to reduce it.
For God's sake, don't make any cosmetic changes that add value to your home. Now, we're talking about painting, carpet replacement, or landscaping. If it makes your home more marketable, and let's face it, they will, the assessor will still adjust the value upwards. So if you're thinking about, you have a carport right now and you want to put a deck out there, or you have a carport right now and you're going to extend your home to make that year-round indoor living space, don't do it. You're thinking about adding that second story onto your one-story ranch home. Don't do it right now. You're thinking about going down into your basement, which is unfinished, with a concrete floor and cinder block walls, and maybe putting down a new floor, carpeting, maybe carving the area up into different rooms. Don't do it, because all of this is going to add value to your home, and that's not a good thing at this point in time. Hold off on those improvements until the dust settles and the tax assessor is miles away.
And then don't change ownership without understanding the rules. Selling, gifting, or adding a non-exempt co-owner can still trigger a reassessment. So you're not going to get away with that.
So here's the bottom line. If your property is up for a revaluation, act fast. Verify the numbers and avoid actions that could increase your assessed value. Now, if you believe that the value is too high, file an appeal with the required evidence before the deadline to try and protect your tax bill. And again, don't make any improvements until all this is done. So good luck to all of us in our upcoming tax revaluations. If you found this program enjoyable, informative, or any way likable, if you like the nice shirt that I have on today, make sure that you give us a like and subscribe. And remember that we post new shows every Thursday morning on YouTube at 9 a.m. So until next week, for the Sonic Boomers podcast, I'm Pete.
And I'm Maureen.
Goodbye. God bless you. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.